Nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I'll feel.
Hey, greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio Raw post-show rewind for February the 3rd, 2025. I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, here with Molly Holly and...
What's up, everybody? It's John Escudero, a.k.a. the founder of Dirt Sheet Radio. What's up? Post-Royal Rumble Raw. It was fun. I had a great time. It was a very good episode of WWE television, capped off by a great wrestling match.
God, yes.
And an awesome post-match angle.
Yeah,
I can't be more satisfied.
Oh no, this was I almost ran and changed my shirt due to tonight's ending. No, before we get rolling in here and everything, we do have to give an ever-important shout-out to our partner out on the interwebs.
1 second. Let me take this from you for a minute, because I'd like to show... I'm going to show you guys something real fast. For many weeks now, we have been shouting out our partner at comicbookclick.com, and we love them, and we will always shout them out. So you can always go to comicbookclick.com. That's one place you can go. But there's a new place you can go starting tomorrow.
Breaking news?
Breaking news. I want to show you guys something. It looks really cool when I see it like this. Give me a second. I'm not stalling at all. I'm merely talking my way through this situation.
Here, this is always...
So definitely go to comicbookclick.com, but also DirtSheetRadio.com.
What?
DirtSheetRadio.com exists. Go there starting tomorrow for all of your pro wrestling pop culture news and reviews and opinion pieces and all of that good shit.
Hey, John, will I be able to post my weekly NXT hits and misses column there?
What an amazing place to host Tyler's weekly NXT hits and misses. Of course you can host your hits and misses.
John, that's swell.
Where else would we put them? This is exactly where they belong. I love it.
It's easier to read stuff like that way than on Facebook. Writing articles on Facebook is hard, guys.
And you can insert relevant images as they need to be. It's a great thing. DirtSheetRadio.com, comicbookclick.com, two places you can go, not because you're obligated to, but because we love it.
We love it. Hell yeah! DirtSheetRadio.com, guys. So tomorrow, official launch, just in time for NXT tomorrow. So fantastic, guys. This is awesome, John. That's awesome. Great news, big news, and hey, also big news tonight. Into Raw. John, should we talk about the match itself first, or the post-match angle?
Yeah, man. We should probably talk about the match.
Okay.
I mean, honestly,
You're right.
It was another one of those situations where they mixed together like three segments. You know, It was like Seth Rollins comes out and he does the Sami Zayn. I feel like we should probably start there. It was all like one segment. We could probably start with Seth Rollins.
They did this. Do you think this is going to be a regular thing that they're doing in terms of like a storytelling device now?
I think if you do it regularly, it kind of takes away the impact of it. But also, I like it. I think it flowed. I think it flowed pretty well. I liked we'll talk about it now, but when Seth Rollins was done and, Punk is coming down the ramp and they've got nowhere else to go but into each other.
Right.
That was really cool. I like shit like that.
But yeah, so as John said here, the kind of last segment that kicked off the last kind of portion of the show tonight, we had Seth Rollins making his way out to the ring. And as interesting an outfit as he's ever worn, kind of like, I don't know, like if if like the Undertaker had played Neo in the Matrix, maybe kind of that kind of outfit. It was
I'm so furious. All of our images are uploaded, but they're all mixed up. So now I have to take like a careful face into my computer look for Seth Rollins. Where is Seth Rollins and his stupid ass outfit? God
look at
damn
the
it.
leather hat. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But Seth came out and he told the crowd that he had a lot to talk about, and some of it was going to make him happy, and some of it was going to make him mad. And he was right, but I feel like more of what he said made them mad than happy. But he discussed people who didn't win the Royal Rumble, people such as CM Punk. Crowd didn't like that he pointed that out. They were chanting OTC at one point, and he pointed out that OTC is out of action for an undisclosed amount of time due to that double stomp. And then the stomp on the steps as well. But yeah, solid work here from Seth. This is kind of getting those first pieces of the trajectory. Jesus, that outfit's terrible. The trajectory into WrestleMania season. Why does it have why? Why?
It's got like holes, like a shower curtain.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it a shower curtain? Is this an homage to oh my god, Gone with the Wind? Gone with the Wind. Jacket out of.
It kind of looks like Darkwing Duck and Macho Man Randy Savage had a baby.
Oh god.
Darkwing Savage.
If Michael Hayes worked for the CIA.
Michael Hayes, Men in Black, MIB. Michael Hayes in Black.
Oh,
that's God. An alien, baby. And he just dances. He's just dancing. Why did we bring him here, Agent K? This guy fucking sucks.
He just keeps wanting to take people to Bad Street. Oh, jeez. Goodness gracious. All right. But yeah, so back into the ring there. As Seth was cutting his promo, they had Sami Zayn go ahead and make his entrance ahead of the main event here. And they shared a moment. I think Seth is still a little more upset by that hell of a kick from was that last week that happened? I'm getting my misfires mixed up now because Sami Zayn has inadvertently kicked like a dozen people over the last month.
Just to let you guys know out there in TV land, for whatever reason, our streamer is giving us issues when it comes to reading comments. I can see that people are leaving comments on Facebook, but I can't bring them up in the stream. So like I can see Mac mentioning that John says, "Man, I barely have any free time," and then I go on and create more work for myself. Yeah, that's definitely the nature of Dirt Sheet Radio. But also, Andre wanted to know why Netflix was so glitchy during the main event.
It happened a couple times throughout the show too, but God, especially during the post-match segment there, it
Backstage stuff.
Yeah, it was in and out pretty badly tonight. This is the first time they've really had issues like this since moving to Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know if it was I guess it was a Netflix issue because all the places that had posted, video clips and shit, they didn't have glitches in there. So I think people who watched it on television, not television, people who watched it internationally, possibly, I don't know, some way they had a better feed than we do.
I thought Caesar said he had some glitching. Oh, happy birthday, Caesar! Not on the show with us tonight because it's
David. Thank you for joining us. David says Seth looked like ZZ Top version of present-day suburban dad John Cena.
Thank you. That's good.
Incredible. Incredible.
Also, based off the logo, I'm assuming that David M. lives in the same general vicinity as I do there because he has an OSU logo. That would be cool.
Or he's a masochist. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. Tired of all these signs, people talking about them losing to Michigan. Actually, I don't really care that much. But
I don't watch sports.
I don't. Guys,
the reference landed.
At least I can lean on when people talk to me about college football in this city. I can at least be like, well, I'm from West Virginia originally, so
I don't even. You know what? I shoot them in the head. I'm like, hey, I don't really watch.
Jesus,
sports. John. I don't really watch sports, bro. I'm not really a sports guy. You know what I'm saying? I used to run the streets. They didn't have sports out there. That's a lie. Everybody used to play basketball, and I didn't play basketball because I was bad at it. I'm like, fuck this sport.
Oh,
But yeah, David says OH Southwest part of the state.
I have to. I'm legally obligated. I am legally obligated to do that in this state.
Yeah.
Like they will send Ohio police after you if you don't say IO Sky. At least I can make it about wrestling, right? But so Seth, well, I'm sorry, Sami spoke about Punk telling him that he wasn't on his level last week, and Seth told Sami that he's not on the same level because Sami is a good person, which CM Punk can never be. Damn, like such a simple thing, like you know what I mean, like no cursing, no vulgarity or anything, but what a burn, really. You know what I mean? Very straightforward. Just be like, yeah, Sami, you're a good human being. Phil isn't, so he only is because he's contractually obligated to do so.
I like that he wouldn't have cared otherwise. He just wants someone to beat up CM Punk. Please,
Right.
please get your shit together and end his dreams, because I need someone to do it. It does. There were heavy implications that they're not done with each other.
Mhm.
They will be meeting again in some way. We talked last night about how it looked like it would be a triple threat at WrestleMania, possibly, and how CM Punk should actually fuck off and go find something else to do, so that we can get the real match that's worth watching. Rollins versus Reigns, that box office baby. But yeah, so we definitely got more of that tonight with Rollins cheering on Sami Zayn, but only so that Sami can beat Punk.
Right.
And then, now a couple minutes later getting into this kerfuffle.
Like at this point, Seth is just backing anything that hurts CM Punk, either like physically or emotionally. Like he's buying all the Hangman Adam Page figures he can find now. Like he's just hiding them. That would be fucking hysterical, actually. If someone was just like hiding little Adam Pages around CM Punk
in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of shit I need in my life to find out. That I need to see the video of CM Punk crashing out. If I find one more motherfucking action figure in my locker room, I swear to God, I'm gonna shoot every.
Part of the reason I bring up, Hangman specifically on that is because I thought it was weird, and we're getting ready to get into the match here in a second after Punk's entrance, but he called Sami Cowboy at one point during the match tonight, and I'm like, that seemed very directed.
He did come out with a giant cowboy hat, but I guess he wears those all the time. Max says my heart grows every time someone Kendrick's Punk's life on television. Yeah, every time someone takes a dig, I'm like, yes, I'm happy for you. I also thought it was interesting that Rollins kind of okay. So if you've been watching wrestling, and you were like a fan of CM Punk or the Indies in the 2000s, then you would know that there are a few wrestlers in the locker room with him today who probably still don't like him because of how deep the hatred ran back then. And Sami Zayn would have been one of them. So it was interesting to hear Seth Rollins bring that up on television because they've not approached that at all on TV. And Rollins is like, anybody else, nobody else in this world knows you. Like, nobody else in this world knows what I know, Sammy. And that's, you don't like CM Punk. And I was like, damn.
Oh man, that is going back so far into Ring of Honor history.
It's Sammy, it's Kevin Owens, it's the Young Bucks, it's all connected. It's all fun. Pro wrestling is fun. That's why when they take these digs, even though they're working, it's like
there's a little truth to some of this shit. There's
it stings, but you can't do anything about it. Like, I just gotta come up with something better. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. That's kind of the game sometimes for him, I'm sure there's a good amount of one-upsmanship with that.
I have fun with it.
Oh yeah, it's always a blast. That is one thing I will say. Like, even though I'm not historically a big Punk guy, I always enjoy the promo aspects of whoever he's feuding with because they both just lay it in, And now it's kind of like with Punk, it's like they can lay it in, and he can only get so mad about it.
Here's a funny fact. CM Punk and Sami Zayn are going to wrestle tonight, and that made me think back, like, have I ever seen this before? And no, as crazy as it is, because they've run so many of the same circles, this is the first time ever match on Raw tonight.
Wow. That's
I was like, oh
really
shit.
surprising. That's really surprising, actually. They never crossed before.
No, I guess the two ships passing in the night over and over and over again. That's so sad. Ships should never pass in the night. They should always come next to each
Collide?
other and
Oh.
I was gonna say next to each other and extend like a plank.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't want them to collide.
Well, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Actually, it'd be more fun that way, wouldn't it?
It's well, it's more spectacular, but back into the pre-match here. So CM Punk's music hits as Seth Rollins was making his way back up the ramp, and yeah, they were kind of bottlenecked here. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run to. So there was a little skirmish between the two men. A quick pull apart there as Punk made his way down for the match. Before we get into the match, John, what do you think of this? Kind of setting it up that way, so they kind of had no place. Two ships passing in the night, they collided.
I did, like I said, I liked that. I liked the way this all came together. Like Seth Rollins going through all this shit and then backing up off the ramp, like if he was just gonna get away, and then Punk's music hits. Like, where else were you gonna go? It was just funny. It was a funny moment, and I like that a lot. I'm still not a fan of CM Punk being involved in this Seth Rollins Roman Reigns thing. I know, even though I know Greg is out there listening and he knows he's going to SummerSlam in New York and he would prefer to get the match to himself. And I am like, fuck you, you're not gonna get it. It's gonna happen at WrestleMania next year.
Oh, jeez. But that is going to bring us into CM Punk and Sami Zayn, the winner, moving on to the Elimination Chamber. John Cena already in the chamber. CM Punk, they did mention this on commentary, Punk taking a dig at Cena on Twitter, saying that he was going to go in and qualify for the match tonight, which is interesting because during the press conference, John Cena flat out said, look, I'm going to go film this movie, which means you all have 1 month to run my name down as much as you can. So,
And what's the first thing Punk does? Of course.
Look, Hunter, he gave me permission. He said I could do it, okay? It's all right. I'm not being mean. He said I could do it.
We did commentary not like confirm, but they did like acknowledging the weirdness of that John Cena post show promo made it really cool. Like, oh shit, they're really going in that direction, aren't they? Like, this is really gonna happen. It's gonna be a fun year for John Cena. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and because he really is playing that, like, look, I'm owed this. I've given a lot. I've done a lot.
I'm entitled.
Yeah.
Cena.
It's like, little, just
he's doing a little commentary on somebody. I don't know who. He's gonna be like, oh, it's those people who come in and feel like they're owed everything. It's
John,
like,
you can't say those people, John.
Oh no, certainly not, John. Not you.
No.
No, I really want to know who you're talking about, John. No, but
name names.
This was a great match, though.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
Both veterans went out there, wrestled everything was perfect. Everything went the way it needed to go. Everything was timed perfectly. They slowed down when they needed to slow down. They sped up when they needed to speed up. It was awesome. I had a great time with this match, and it ended like people are mad that they're not getting the 3 hours of Raw, but I like that I can't tell when these things are going to end. It's going to be 20 minutes. It's going to be 10. It's going to be 5. I really enjoyed that.
In this case, it was 14:56.
Very good.
Before who was it? The Sammy charged in there with a hell of a kick. Punk kind of block dodged the kick, and then they went to GTS to get that 3 count there and move on to the Elimination Chamber. This was a hell of a match. Part of me wants to say, like, I would have liked to have seen it go just a hair longer, but I don't really know that it needed to. It was right under that 15-minute mark, main event on Raw. They did what they needed to do, and besides, there was some juice in that post-match angle.
Oh, that was good. That was so good. You might as well get right into it.
I think the start began with the Cody angle here, but I think we're seeing and John, maybe I'm alone on this. Maybe you agree with me. I think this is a return to form for Kevin Owens. I felt tonight we didn't quite see Kevin Owens. We saw Kevin Steen tonight. He jumps in after the match and just lays Sami out and then nails him with a package pile driver that actually looked quite a bit nastier than the one he hit Cody with. Probably because Sami's taken quite a few of these in his life.
So many.
Yeah, he is laid out, and I guess, hey, we kind of talked about this after the Rumble, and we've been talking about it for really a couple weeks now, but this looks like this is going to be the trajectory. We're going to get a Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens WrestleMania match. I mean, hey, would have been great if it could have been for the title, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers here. I'm just glad that they're actually going to get to do this, which means they've probably achieved two dreams here. You know, they main evented together as a tag team, winning the tag titles, and now they're going to get to have a marquee match and just go full throttle with one another at Mania. John, what do you think of the post-match angle here, what they're doing with Kevin Owens with this, and what it means for the future for him?
There are people out there that are going to have an issue with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being programmed together again. I am never going to be one of those people. I personally think WWE never scratched the surface on what Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only match of real consequence that I could think of between them is that Battleground match in like 2016. And I mean, they've had other like confrontations, they've had other matches. I'm sure you can bring up some, but that's like the one. And it was like we've never seen what they like any Ring of Honor. People are going to bring up the Ring of Honor feud.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that we didn't even get to see. We didn't even get to see the depth of what they can do there because they spent so much time with Kevin Owens, with Kevin Steen, off of television, quote unquote, suspended when really Jim Cornette just didn't want to fucking book him.
And then he came back fat just to piss him off. That's one of my favorite Kevin Steen stories. He's like, I quit going to the gym to piss off Cornette.
So I would really like to see WWE give this final layer, this final chapter, all of the seasoning, everything. I wanted to have the cinema drama. I wanted to have the emotional attachment of all these years. I wanted callbacks. I want Steve Corino. He works here.
God!
He works here. He works here. Yeah, he works here.
They don't have Jimmy Jacobs anymore, though, right?
They don't have Jimmy Jacobs. They kicked him out.
Well, I've heard Jimmy's got some problems. Although I will say I met Jimmy Jacobs. He was a super cool dude when I met him. It's one of the few times I really fanboyed out for some reason. Like I had a really hard time introducing myself to Jimmy Jacobs. I don't know why,
but this is the first package pile driver on live WWE television too.
Yeah, that's right. It was after the show angle the last time.
Yep. This is really cool. I loved it. David says we definitely have not seen enough of a detailed long feud between KO and Sami that they deserve. Another one of my worries is that they're going to do this match at Elimination Chamber in Canada.
Oh, I really hope. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think. Oh, I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. This needs to be a Mania match. Or if they do book it for Chamber, just have something go haywire. They don't play that card too often anymore to kind of the little bait and switch because it's really not a good faith thing to do. But this is if that was the story piece that it took to get this to WrestleMania, I'd accept it for that.
You know what I would do? I would have them come out, but the match never happens. They brawl for 20 minutes though, because you still get 20 minutes of a performance, right? But the bell never rung. Right. But they're doing anything goes shit. You're brawling through the crowd, crash through tables. You can do that for 20 fucking minutes. The bell never rings. And then at WrestleMania, you have to set up something with stipulation. They're unstoppable. They're monsters. Nobody can get them off of each other for 20 minutes. They fucking caused chaos and they ruined our show. We have no choice but to give them a fucking, whatever, unsanctioned Hell in a Cell, whatever fucking mega death ending match at WrestleMania. That's how I would do this thing, because then they still get the Canada performance. They still get to be on the
Right.
posters for Canada. It looks like they're gonna have the match, and you
And
you
the crowd will have
kind
something that'll make them happy, you know?
yeah, like you didn't really bait and switch them. You know, like they got a match. It's just the plot. We twisted it a little bit so it can seem like it isn't. That's how I would do. Anyway,
I like
that's really
that.
cool.
I like that. I like that. I'm one of the things I'm excited for about going back to this. You know, you talk about like the depth of story that they were able to achieve in Ring of Honor and not quite even getting as deep as they could. I think part of that was you were dealing with Kevin Steen and El Generico. You know, and Generico didn't cut promos. Well, I mean, not the lengthy kind of promos,
Yeah.
with the amount of emotional depth that Sami Zayn does now. That was one of the things that shocked me most when Sami Zayn went to NXT and that mask came off, was that he was able to cut promos so well. I'm like, why weren't you doing this already? But I harken back, and John, you called back to it on the DSR main page on Facebook. But the promo that Kevin Steen cut ahead of their last match against one another in Ring of Honor, where it was just him, spotlight, chair in the ring, was to this day, I think, one of the best promos that's been concocted. I think certainly for Ring of Honor, one of the best, but in general, one of the best. That's the kind of storytelling I want to see here. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go. I'm sure it's on the YouTube. It has to be. But John had a quote from that on there, which was it, yeah, you and I are destined to do this
Forever. Thank God did
Superman
he
and Lex
mean it.
Luthor. Yeah, Superman and Lex Luthor, guys. This is it.
I love that. I just love that this exists. I love that this exists. Like this feud that I watched as a teenager in the dirty, dusty little PWG Legion fucking building, and the fucking Ring of Honor arenas and then NXT and then WWE. Like, how does this is the coolest shit ever. This is like some Ric Flair shit. You know, like we're watching them wrestle across the territories.
Yeah.
Like it's cool as fuck. I'm excited. How could you hate this?
And you're right. There are people I can hear them, chirping around that are going to be like, "Oh, we're going back to the well again." First of all, it's been a while.
Very long time.
Yeah, years. Probably about the longest time they've ever gone without feuding, if they've been in the same area. But no, this is going to be incredible. I'm really excited for the program itself. I'm excited for both of them to get to do this. There's not a lot of guys that you can refer to as journeyman wrestlers, and they're on that list. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm just yawning. Don't mind me.
But John, man, anything else on the main event and the post match angle, or shall we?
Well, I did want to one more time acknowledge that a lot of people did get the main event fucked for them by the by the constant glitching on Netflix. It's fine. I don't think that's gonna happen very often. Actually, I blame Ohio. Sorry, Tyler.
Fuck! It was in Cleveland. Damn it.
Yep. I blame Ohio. It wouldn't have happened if they weren't in Ohio. Everything was perfect until they got to Ohio.
Well,
So-
I said this. I said this in the DSR chat. Here in these parts, sometimes Cleveland is referred to as the mistake by the lake. And they must have made some sort of technical mistake tonight. At least the river hasn't caught fire in a while.
In a while. Why is your river catching fire?
The Cuyahoga River has caught fire twice.
Please get away from Ohio.
Where am I going to go? West Virginia?
Yeah, they've got this song.
Which is funny because the majority of references in that song are actually about Virginia.
But they don't got the song. That's like when the WrestleManias that take place at MetLife, and it's like it's in New Jersey, right? But New York, but New York,
but it's actually but it's New York.
Mac says this should end with Hell in a Cell. I like that, but I don't know if they're gonna do that so close to Drew versus Punk.
Fuck it, 3 stages of hell.
That would be great. That's fucking awesome. And it almost guarantees that their match won't be like fucking 10 minutes. That's what I get worried about. Like sometimes you get so excited in these feuds for WrestleMania, and then it's like, oh, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, second match of the card,
Right.
10 minutes. Fuck! Like, no, this can't be. No, their time got cut because, Charlie XCX had to perform Brat. I can't. No.
If she's at WrestleMania now,
I don't know.
we can
I
say
think
that
she
you broke the news.
looks pretty. I watched the Grammys last night. They were entertaining. It was actually really good. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this so good? Anyway.
Yeah, it was an interesting night, from what I heard. I didn't watch it live, but I caught up. I don't know if I've watched the Grammys live in a really long time.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't usually like. I have to watch award shows to do coverage for the movie stuff, but this was a music show, and I didn't have to watch it. But they were like performances, and I was like, well, this is like a really good concert. Like everybody who's performing is really good here.
I can tell you I don't know the year, but I'm sure someone can figure this out. The last time, and I know this, that I watched the Grammys live was the year that Amy Winehouse won a Grammy for Back to Black.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And we were playing Heroescape at the time. So yeah.
Sorry, David. I didn't mean to trigger you there.
Oh no. Yeah, that was a real kicker. I was all like, woo, Wrestle Kingdom rematch, man. And then it didn't quite deliver like that, but
I'll never get over that. We're moving on though, I guess. Flipping over to the beginning of the show.
Yes, we as John stated, we're coming live from Cleveland, Ohio tonight. Cleveland. They were at the Rocket Mortgage Field House. I'm pretty sure that Charlotte stole that suit from was it David Byrne from the Talking Heads?
She took it from Andrade just before things fell apart.
Oh shit! That's actually what that looks like now that you.
I'm getting that back. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Just move on, brother.
That's why she's on Raw. Like they ain't gonna be on the same fucking show now. But yeah, so the show opened tonight with they did a recap of the Royal Rumble, and of course we had Michael Cole kind of breaking down the show as the wrestlers were sort of walking into the venue, as they love to do now. I mean, that's what they do in the your MBAs and such, as I've heard. I don't know this for fact.
They do be walking.
They do.
They do be walking.
They're a bunch of ambulatory dudes just getting into places, Jesus. But Jey Uso made his way into.
It's just me, Us.
That day one-ish. He was dressed like a can of orange Fanta tonight. But he was on his way out to the ring.
Oh, that did happen. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because that was fucked up.
We will get there because that crowd wasn't too happy to see her tonight. But Jey Uso made his way down to a, again, hot welcome. Jey Uso's over as hell. And I will say this. Look, I think we were all a little surprised when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. I almost said Saturday night. However, we for years and years have been like, hey, guys, can you push the guy that's getting the big reaction? And they'll always be like, no. And then they did. And then a lot of people were still really mad.
Hey, look, a lot of people get a lot of big reactions. All right.
That's true. Listen. Look, I referred to him as a special attraction Saturday. I stand by that. I stand by that category for him.
I said it yesterday. I don't got nothing against Jey Uso winning. I understand why they did it. It's a logical choice. The way they did it was the way you should do something like that. I don't have no issue with John Cena losing. I simply am not a fan of Jey Uso's wrestling style. Like, I don't like his main event matches. I think they suck. I think if you put him on TV for fucking 10 minutes, 12 minutes with like a Hooper, then he can have a fun little match on Raw. I think when you give him 17 minutes to do something compelling for a world championship, it comes out boring. And then it really, really exposes him as the dude who can do 4 moves. You know, and
That
I mean that works for WWE though. Like when I say expose, I don't mean like oh look, it turns out he's a bad wrestler. I mean like clearly he's a good wrestler. Otherwise he wouldn't be so
agreed.
decorated. But I think his match structure bores me.
That's something that came up when a lot of people were calling for him to take the title from Roman as opposed to Seth.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was just like, look, you like that from the emotional spectrum. Like, and that's the thing, like a lot of his, bigger moments in ring have a lot of emotion tied to them. And it's mostly bloodline related. But we talked about that then. It would have been fun for the night of him winning the title. And then it would have been really nowhere to go after that. And I
yeah.
joked about this. I half expected him to pull some shit tonight to take the Rumble win from him. I joked that The Rock would just show up and be like,
Gunther,
I'm
I
facing
know
you.
I can beat you, but not at WrestleMania.
Who
Oh no.
was it that used their WrestleMania or their Royal Rumble win the month before Mania?
That No Way Out. I think that's happened more than once. Give me a second, because I don't want to say Randy Orton. No, no, that's when Rey Mysterio put his shot on the line and lost it to Randy Orton, and then like yeah, that happened. No, fuck, you're right. Was it right before the WrestleMania 2000 Fatal 4-Way? The winner of the 2000 Royal Rumble would have been, who was it? The Rock. No, because he gets his match at WrestleMania. He gets the 4-way though. Should have been Triple H versus The Rock. I'll always say that. Such a missed opportunity. Uh, but anyway, while you find that,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this. It's driving me crazy. As
I
I'm as
can
I,
I can recap this segment.
all
You go
right.
ahead. Basically, Jey Uso comes out here. He's in tears, in real tears. He can't even get words across. And they're so fucking excited to see him that they just decide, let's run the damn entrance again. It's just me, Uso, and we
That
fucking do it twice. And so he grabs the microphone and he says, listen, man, I shouldn't be here, but I am. So thank you. He cries, and then Gunther comes out. Gunther is pissed. It's so funny. He's pissed. I didn't want you to win the fucking Royal Rumble. He's mirroring the conversation online. He says, I think this match doesn't appeal to me. he also said, I learned box office and I know how to play with these fans to make them think that my opponent has a chance, and then I come back and I just win. But at WrestleMania, if you decide to fight me, it's not going to be that little game. It's going to be an utter display of violence. I was like, that's a fucking crazy thing to say in kayfabe. Like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. I learned box office, so I've been letting people play around. And now, but I don't fucking play with you, boy. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
I mean, that's what I said about how I felt about their match at Saturday night's main event, was that it really kind of looked like he just kind of batted around with him and he's like, no, I'm done now. Powerbomb 1, 2, 3. And it really is how it felt like the match went. So it was kind of cool to hear him basically verbalize that tonight. And
I I just worry that because I saw this match already. Like, there's no way. Like, come on, man. Like, this is not no fucking way. Like, you're kidding me. There's just no way. I refuse to believe that this is the WrestleMania match that
it's
we
not gonna
just saw.
it's not gonna main event night one.
Not even I don't believe it deserves to be on the card. Like, we just saw this 3 minutes ago.
That's why I was saying too. Why I felt like something was going to happen here. I mean, he's not going to choose Cody.
It's too soon.
for a period
It's
of
too
reasons.
soon. Like, he should
By the
get
way,
goaded.
it was 2008 when this happened. It was John Cena.
What
He
was he doing?
he used his Royal Rumble match win at No Way Out in 2008 to face Randy Orton, and Randy Orton got himself intentionally disqualified during the
The
match.
one where he slapped the referee.
I think so, yes.
That's
Or was it a
really-
low blow? Was it a slap or a low
wait.
blow?
It might have been a low blow because the slap was another one. There was one where he grabs the ref and just slaps the shit out of them. Good old Randy. I don't even remember John Cena versus Randy Orton at No Way Out 2008. That's fucking crazy that happened. That's how many of those matches happened, that they just all blended in, and the only one that sticks out to me is that fucking Iron Man match. I like that match.
That one, the unification match.
That was all right,
I
but they
remember.
almost the only thing I remember from that is one of them almost died. I think like pulled. I think Randy pulled on like a rope or something, and Cena came down and like his
Yeah.
head went through the table.
Yep. Goddamn. They have wrestled a lot of times. That was them wrestling so many times led to an argument between me and TJ Perkins on Twitter one time. So.
I thought you were gonna say like an argument between me and my then wife. We've been
Nope.
divorced since then. Like damn.
Nope, TJ Perkins, he got mad at me because I said they did this too many times, but you know.
You don't understand wrestling, you see. I understand wrestling, not you. Let me tell you why you're wrong, Tyler.
Yeah. Technical lightning was not happening with me, guys. Oh geez.
But yeah, man, the segment ends with Gunther telling Jey, "Don't you fucking dare." So, what do you think of this, Tyler?
I dug it. It's one of those things where it's like sometimes you shouldn't necessarily say what we're all thinking as fans because Gunther didn't necessarily need to point out because the logic's here that he would have preferred someone like CM Punk or Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns winning and going after him because that would be better for his legacy. Like we're all kind of thinking that like Johnny said, this is not a WrestleMania match, and we're all thinking it and talking about it, and Gunther kind of said it too. So I don't know. I mean, so do you really think that when it's all said and done, by the time we get to Vegas, this is going to be the match?
There's just no way, man. There's no way. This can't be. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now because this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't land for me. You can build this for the next 3 months and I would still hate it. Like it would never work for me.
Do you think it's because neither you or myself are heavily invested in Jey Uso's character right now?
There's that, but I still think why did you do this match? Why did you do this match? Like why did you show me that it's gonna suck? Why at least I could have thought like if I didn't know the match, if the match hadn't happened, then I would at least be like, well, maybe Jey Uso versus Gunther will be entertaining. We've never seen that match before. I know for a fact that match stunk. It made me bored. I didn't want to see it then. I don't want to see it again. So like that's what my issue is.
When they did it at Saturday Night's Main Event, one of my thoughts on it was, okay, this makes sense. The Saturday Night's Main Events are kind of going to get what they would have used on a kind of random Raw main event. That's kind of what they're getting for the most part. And it would have made sense in that context. But like they had to have known that they were going to put Jey over in the Rumble when they did this match at Saturday Night's Main Event. They would have had to have known that then. There's no way they had a decision after.
That was their idea of starting the story, you see. And this match with one week build.
And they did the match wrong because if that was the idea, it should have been like, I don't know, 94 seconds of Gunther just pounding him like into the mat, into a bloody mess, and then pinning him. And then you could have kind of done like the ultimate like comeback story with it. Even then, I still wouldn't have really been with the idea, but it would have made a little more sense if you're going to do it. I don't understand it.
It's yeah, you would hope that wasn't on purpose, but I believe that it was. I believe that was their idea of starting this storyline between, or at least putting Jey in a position that makes him look like he can challenge for the title. But I felt like it didn't look like he came close to beating Gunther. It looked like he got toyed with, and then Gunther decided when it was time to go. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. They've wasted this Royal Rumble pick on me. It's not for me. I'm glad the kids are happy. Yeah. I'm really glad the Yeets are happy. All you Yeets out there, enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Okay? Because it ain't happening again. so enjoy this one.
I mean, if you're a Jey Uso fan, he's had a hell of 14 months, So, but you're right. Sometimes it's not for us, the jaded fan that's been watching
I,
25 years.
actually, I want Gunther to beat the shit out of Jey Uso and then force him into submission, and then he just gives up the title shot.
He just pushes him into the ring, locks him in the camel clutch. He's like, "Okay, I'll give up my shot to someone else."
It's just power bomb after power bomb.
Oh God.
He's got to power bomb him over and over and over again. Every time he says no, you power bomb him again and again and again and again and again. And if he says no, then I guess you kill him. But
He says,
if I'm Gunther, I'm saying
this isn't Lucha Underground. Okay, you're right. This is this is violent.
This is why I'm not Gunther.
Right. Feel that. I can't be trusted with that kind of strength and power. I just can't. I can't. This is why I couldn't use. This is why I can't have sports. I would be a Sith in 10 minutes. It's terrible.
The fucking mat is sacred. I said it and I meant it. Don't put me in here with this catchphrase merchant. I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Catchphrase merchant. I like that. That should be on a shirt. Catchphrase merchant.
Yeet.
Oh, yeet. So after the promo segment, we went into what was our opening match here tonight, which got more time than I thought it was going to. We talked about that in the chat, but then we had Penter and Ludwig Kaiser going 1-on-1 here tonight, which they had set up in the that promo segment that was only internationally on the Netflix last week, and then again they had them kind of touch in the Rumble. Damn it. Okay, that's how we were rolling at the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were touching.
They were touching. They touched for a while. Tonight, they touched for 9 minutes and 58 seconds. Before...
It's about how long I can touch.
Oh, my God. You know what? It's after midnight where I'm at, so that makes it okay. But Penta, I think, predictably and understandably wins this confrontation here just under the 10-minute mark. That tongue, it's always out there. It's like the Lucha Michael Jordan here. But yeah, great match. I'm glad that it got more than just like a Raw opening match amount of time. They could have definitely gone longer, but it was solid. I liked this. Post-match, Pete Dunne made his way out to the entrance there, and then Ludwig Kaiser jumped Penta from behind and left with his man-bunned friend. I said this last week. I don't know how I feel about them basically making Pete Dunne his sidekick, but here we are.
How is he a sidekick? That's crazy. This is insane. It is all right. It's all right. Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to lament about my thoughts on how Pete Dunne's WWE career has gone.
At least they're not calling him Butch anymore. Well, I mean, I guess people still are, but not.
They're still treating him like it.
Yeah, like a little Butch, just Butch slapping him left and right. So, I mean, does this mean we're going to get more matches between Kaiser and Penta and I was calling him Butch that time, Pete Dunne and Penta? Is this going to be Penta's first full program?
And it's going to be one of those lame programs, too. He's just going to face Kaiser on Raw, and then it's going to end in DQ. Then he's going to face Pete Dunne the next week, and it's going to fucking get a roll-up win over Pete Dunne, and then they'll do a tag match. And then possibly...
And you'll want it to be Ray Phoenix, but it's not going to be.
No, it's going to be Chad Gable. Da-da-da.
He is departing to learn the dark arts of Lucha.
That's what he said, right? He left
to learn the dark arts of Lucha Libre.
When he comes back, I want him to do Hurricane Ranas and shit.
He should. He's a consummate professional. I feel like he will be able to augment his typical style in such a way that it brings in a lot of lucha flair. I'm curious to see who it is. If they show it, I assume that they will for comedy reasons. But I'm curious to see who his instructor is. I'm hoping it's Jack Black as Nacho Libre, but I doubt that's going to be the case.
Same. Actually, Tyler, talk him through the next segment. I'm not going anywhere, but I'll be right back.
Oh, Right on, right on. All right, so from there we went to the back. Or sorry, we were in ring. Oh, I skipped that. Penta was going to be interviewed before that attack happened. Sorry, guys, I got a little out of sorts there. Before our backstage segment here, Michael Cole commented on JD McDonough landing against the announce desk last week, and they discussed him suffering from some broken ribs and a punctured lung. I said this last week when we found this out, but geez, JD McDonough is an absolute badass. Speedy recovery for JD, and I'll try not to make as many Farquaad jokes when you return. But backstage, speaking of JD McDonough, we had, our obligatory Judgment Day segment here. We had Finn Balor walking up to Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. He said that he was gone for just a couple weeks and everything just fell to pieces around here. He told Dom that, you took my tag team title match, you stole my tag partner, and you got him injured. And he said, don't call the shots when I'm gone. And Liv jumped to defense of her man. Her daddy Dom. And she said, hey, if Dom hadn't teamed with JD McDonough, then Adam Pearce was just going to give the shot to somebody else. Then it would have been wasted. So, she calmed him down.
Did you feel like we were pivoting to Judgment Day not breaking up?
Yeah.
Right? I felt like we just put a patch on that, like a Band-Aid on it, like we'll be back. like JD's injured and we kind of don't have anything right now, right. So let's leave this the way it is for now.
So the Judgment Day continues. But, so I mean, this really did kind of feel like everyone's a little bit happier now, especially after, he found out that Dom's the reason that he's going to get a Elimination Chamber qualifier match. So, like, Finn was, calm by the end of this.
You know what bugs me out in pro wrestling? When they say, I got you this match. And this happens a lot. It's not just tonight with Dom. It happens a lot where a heel person will get their friend a match.
Yeah. Especially with Judgment Day. Judgment Day does this a lot.
What are they doing for these matches?
Well, I don't want to make jokes,
I can only no wait wait no stop no I'm trying to avoid that but I was just trying to think like in real. Like, what would you have to do? Like,
in a real kayfabe sense, I would think if you're a heel, a bribe to a GM Jack Tunney would have never have taken a bribe. Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce, possibly. Yeah, I feel like because what are you going to do to barter with the GM unless it is a literal bribe? Like, what are you going to have as a wrestler that your boss would want from you necessarily?
I'm saying, like, what can you offer in exchange? I brought donuts. I've got coffee. Like, you've got to get there first.
You know what? Maybe it's like Wrestler Court. I've heard takers say that if you show up with a bottle of Jack Daniels, you're basically free to go without anything happening to you. Maybe it's kind of like that. Maybe you show it up with, like, some, like, single malt scotch or something. I don't know. I don't know what Adam Pearce drinks, but he drinks a lot of it from the sound of it.
But it's got to be like a significant effort because
Cuban cigars.
It's because like it's always like, oh man, I couldn't get this match until this person did it for me. Like, what was Dom doing? Massaging Adam Pearce's shoulders? Like,
if it was a different time frame and a different GM, because what I'm about to say could not apply to Adam Pearce or. Oh my God, his name just fell out of my head on SmackDown. Magnus. Magnus is all I can think
now. Nick Magnus. No, Nick Aldis.
Damn it. Oh man, no one's called him Magnus in a while. I just summoned like ancient TNA memories.
He's somewhere shuddering.
He's like, why did you say that? But you couldn't say this of either of them. But in the past, you could make an argument that a GM could be physically intimidated into giving matches. Obviously, Nick Aldis and Scratch Daddy Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis looks like he's about to burst out of his suit at any moment. But yeah, so that wouldn't work with them. So I really don't know, John. If anybody has any ideas, let us know. Because I'd love a kayfabe explanation as to why Like, if it's a face, I could see them just being like, come on, I'm a nice guy. Like, I make a lot of money for the company. Like, Cody could say that, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But they're doing it. And they're doing it a lot. A lot.
No, I wanted to say that because they're both former NWA champions, that the intimidation thing was just never going to work. But also, it reminded me that I really thought they were going to fight each other at one point, and they didn't.
I guess it happened.
They were like building something. They really were. There was animosity there, and then it just disappeared. Didn't Nick Aldis get injured or something?
Did he tear?
He hurt his arm or some shit.
Yeah, I thought he tore a bicep.
All them fucking steroids. Stop sticking needles in your ass, you big fuck.
The suit's gonna just right off. He reminds me.
He's not even wrestling. Like, how do you get injured? Rolling out of bed? Stop putting a needle in your ass.
They need to. When he heals from that, I would hope that they would go back to that at some point. Because generally, I've not been super duper in favor of them petting the SmackDown and Raw GMs against one another. Because often it's not been in a situation where they can actually work a match. But that would be cool, though. I'd like to see that.
No, but fuck him specifically. I'll never forget what you did, Nick.
Him in that suit, it makes me think of when The Rock hosted SNL forever ago, and he was Superman, and he was like,
it was the MTV Awards. He dressed up as Superman. He's been pushing the "I'm gonna be the Black Superman" thing for so long that it ruined Black Adam. Fuck, and then almost ruined everything. And then poor Henry Cavill got roped into it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, I will say it was in the old Facebook memories a year ago today, John, that you had put on Dirt Sheet Radio last year, comparing the Dwayne's movement into WWE last year to what he did at Warner Brothers, where it was just power vacuum. He came in, said it was best for business, but it was really just best for Rock.
And it's still, there's no way anybody can disprove my argument there. It worked out for the best, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
For him. But when you really think about it, like, it was it was like a weird ass detour that didn't need to exist and didn't add anything to the story but like extra flavor. Like, oh, you put ketchup on it. Thank you.
It added extra flavor that he put under the kitchen sink a few weeks ago and washed off completely.
Hey guys, I promise this was my idea the whole time. Dwayne.
But moving into our next segment, and this was something that was brought up, the reaction that she got here tonight. Charlotte Flair wearing something from the April O'Neil collection here this evening. That was my first thought, was the April O'Neil action figure I had as a kid. But yeah, Charlotte got a mixed, John, would you say? Mixed reaction?
I would not say that. I would say it was okay. It was mixed at first. It was fake. It was mixed when she came out. The cheers for and boos for the music, but when she started talking, when she started giving the promo, I think it got rough because it was they booed her and she was like, okay, I know you guys used to boo me. But please stop. No, she didn't say it like that, but essentially she was like, hey, if this was a year ago, I would have. And then she like mimes a heel promo, but she's like, no, but now I love you all. Nobody is buying this. Nobody is buying this. And then the fucking person who's going to come out to confront her is Rhea Ripley.
Arguably, I don't think even arguably, she's the most popular woman on the roster.
Yeah, why did you have Charlotte come out here and do this shit? She's trying to talk about how, oh, my injury over the last year was so rough. It was the hardest time of my life. Boo! Shut the fuck up! Nobody cares about your fucking knee. Boo! It was rough, and then she was shaking. She starts the promo by saying, your boos would have shaken me last year. But they clearly shook her the whole night tonight.
I will say, because she didn't really get a negative reaction Saturday. It wasn't overwhelmingly negative. But she had to have known that this groundswell was there before going on to Raw tonight. I would have thought.
Was she not a heel when she left?
Yeah, but maybe she was banking on, generally when people come back from an injury, they're cheered.
I think they they wasted that goodwill on Sunday.
Yeah, they, and again, like you said, bringing Rhea Ripley out to confront her was a choice.
Just made it worse, and then not this. It's
Love
not
that
like
picture, by the way. I thought that was such a great shot.
It is, but again, it's not like Rhea coming out saved the segment exactly.
No,
it was arguably just as bad, and now there's two people out there. It's like, oh fuck. Rhea comes out and they both referenced their previous matches. Rhea basically says, "I'm a kid. I was a kid back then, but I'll beat the shit out of you this time. So don't try it." It's just, a run of the mill Rumble promo. I thought it was a lot of time for a match that probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I if they want to try to get Charlotte back into a scenario where she's being cheered, Rhea Ripley's not the match for that. God, but even the Tiffy thing, I think that's going to upset a sizable segment of people if they have her just run roughshod over Tiffy. I don't know if they necessarily do it that way, but yeah, I think she's going to go with Tiffany, but maybe not. I said this earlier, kind of jokingly, but I don't necessarily know that Charlotte would be on SmackDown because of Andrade.
I think my thing about the Tiffy thing is that they might want Charlotte to be the babyface, and they might think putting her with Tiffany Stratton is the way to do that. But Tiffany Stratton is going to get cheered. Tiffany Stratton is going to get cheered hard, even if she's a heel. As a matter of fact, if she's a heel, they're going to cheer even fucking harder because now she's shitting on Charlotte, and they don't want Charlotte to win anyway. This is going to be a delicate situation for them going forward, and I think they should just consider going heel. Like, why? Like, who wants to see babyface Charlotte Flair anyway? Like, who wants to see babyface Ric Flair? Like, like that Ric Flair was always more effective as a heel. Like, come on.
And then it just hit the point where it's like he's going to be a face on paper, but just still wrestle the heel style.
God damn,
man. It's such an indictment of the state in which I reside. Cleveland's a rough place, guys. Yeah, you're right. Just turn her. Like, it's don't fight it. They're not going to cheer. I feel like this is a scenario where if they do fight it, it's just going to get worse.
It's going to embarrass her. They're going to embarrass her out there.
It's not like, I don't think it's quite like Batista winning the Rumble bad in terms of like how violently the crowd turned. But
broke that man's heart.
Forever Blutista, forever Blutista.
He's never gonna forgive the fan base for that, by the way.
No, he is. No, he actually is still angry about it. Like I've heard, like, it's been years since I've heard him mention it, but like the last time I heard him mention it was not even in a wrestling context in the interview, but he had said that he still doesn't understand why people like Daniel Bryan over him.
It's because nobody's smarting him up. Nobody told him what was going on before he got there. They just slotted him in, and he thought shit was gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? Like, I just came from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm Drax. Look, nothing goes over my head. Why are you treating me like this?
Yeah, it was. God, what a time, guys.
Good times, honestly.
Yeah, Charlotte called Rhea a kid here, and that again, like you talk about, she's getting booed, and she's being slated as the face here. That was a pretty heel line. That's not something a nice person says to someone in such a derogatory way.
I think that they thought that she would have been getting cheered at this point, and then like, oh, now I said something heelish, and now maybe I got some boos. But you were already getting boos. It's like, you just made it worse. Maybe there's nothing they
Well,
can do, I guess.
and this is I don't mean this to be like hyper disrespectful to Charlotte's abilities, but she's not one that I think's ever been super great at the improv aspect of the promo. And someone else, could have maybe turned the crowd back in their favor through their words. But I don't think that's something she was really capable of. And maybe she's the type to just stick to the script too. Like is afraid to deviate from that too far. She's not her dad when it comes to that.
It's funny because when she says things for like a split second, I can hear Ric Flair's cadence. I was like, "Fuck, you gotta get that spark. What was that? Find that, find that, and keep it."
Dude, if she ain't found it by now.
It's here. I heard it tonight. It was something that she screamed at Rhea, and I was like, "That's it. Keep that fucking tone. God damn it, find it. Get it back." But yeah, it's gonna be a fucked up road to WrestleMania season for Charlotte. I think I don't foresee any way that this can turn out good if they don't turn her heel.
Yeah.
Which what would be the worst? What would be the worst thing about turning Tiffany Stratton babyface right now? She's a fucking walking Barbie. Where you could sell you could sell dolls, you could sell pink belts, fucking purses, like accessories and shit.
Her like bedazzled hats. Like,
yeah, come on. I think it's time. Heel Charlotte, babyface Tiffany.
Well, I mean, and she got such a reaction when she cashed in, which is true of probably anyone cashing in for the most part. That's not true that people get booed cashing in. There have been plenty of people getting booed cashing in. I mean, Randy Orton got booed.
He did. I was trying to think of someone, but that was a big one. That was one. Randy, yeah. Nobody wanted to see
the Demon Miz girl. Yeah, they were.
That's true, David. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch is just out there, and they don't have anything for. I mean, I'm sure they have something planned for her yet, but it's just not time. Yeah. He also says Charlotte was being a total tweener. She's gonna help be real about her feelings being out so long. But when she turned her attention to Rhea, the Queen heel emerged. Like I said, I think that was supposed to be the intention, but the crowd had their own ideas.
They did, and they certainly like Rhea a lot more than Charlotte. And I think, John, you're right. The swell behind Tiffy is larger. Just do it. Just lean into it and go that route. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. They did that with Big Show and Mayweather.
You can do it. Put your backs into it.
Still can't believe they thought people was going to cheer Mayweather.
I had fun with that. I went to that press conference for that WrestleMania. Mayweather was like throwing money. People chased him down the street. Crazy times.
Well, I mean, he had two big dudes like carrying I think like 10 grand or something.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, so did Gorilla Monsoon. Fun fact: Gorilla Monsoon kept about 10 grand on him at all times.
Just in case you got a stun on the hose real fast. Hey.
I guess so. That's what Gorilla Monsoon was doing. Bobby Heenan asked him why he carried that much money. And he said, well, in case I need to buy something. He's like what, a boat?
You want to be able to buy everything. I respect it. If I had the money, not today because cash doesn't really matter, but
I'm surprised that Gorilla Monsoon was making that kind of money.
That doesn't surprise me. He was very close with Vince McMahon Sr.
That's true. That is true. All right. Pivoting back. Before we move on, anything else on Charlotte's promo?
No. It was a pretty fucked up promo. It sucked for everybody involved. My job for the night is probably going to be in here somewhere.
That's logical place where it comes from. Back in the backstage, we had Jackie Redmond interviewing Sami Zayn. This was another example of them kind of using one segment to jam in a few things here. He was discussing everything that happened with the Rumble, moving in, to his match tonight against CM Punk. And he was like, in the middle of it, he's like, hey, hold on. And he's what ended up being Jey Uso. Jey begins to apologize to Sami for kicking him. And he's like, no, don't even, man. He hugs. He's happy for him, which makes sense because that's what, faces do. They're happy for one another. They chat for a moment. Jey goes about his business. And that is when Sami is approached by Karrion Kross. Sami tells Kross that he's tired of him, talking to him, walking up to him. They're going to have a real problem if he keeps doing it. So we're going to get Karrion Kross.
Sami's not going to fight him. He's just going to file for a restraining order. Feud settled.
Done. They'll, just Judge Judy this shit. People talk about the Karrion Kross effect and how, it kind of turns someone into a more dark and kind of ruthless version of themselves. Maybe that's kind of the idea here. Get Sami all ruthless up heading into this match with KO.
I'm sorry, but anytime he comes on the screen, it kills me. Sami Zayn is dealing with this shit, and then Karrion Kross comes on the screen with him, and I immediately think why is he on screen with Sami Zayn? Get Sami away from him. Get away from him. Get a job.
Yeah, Karrion, he always looks so happy. All I can think of every time I see him, I just think that guy blocked Caesar on Twitter. Every time.
Caesar deserved it. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Caesar. You did have that one coming, though. Anything else on this backstage segment?
No, not at all. I thought the Jey Uso part was funny because they all been doing this tension every time somebody misses each other, and it's like, oh, shut up, you idiot! You don't give a fuck about that. So that was cool.
After that, before the break, they had the New Day making their entrance to some new entrance music that got me really excited at first until John pointed out that it was not the correct caption.
Yeah, Netflix lied to a lot of people, actually. A lot of people were like, Jim Johnston? It's like, no, that's their old theme. Netflix is being dumb. The new stuff was cool. The new graphics are cool. There's a lot of Dragon Ball influence. They have the Majin, I was going to say Majin Vegeta, but it's just the Majin logo. It's the M. It's on their pants or whatever. And then the Tron, I don't have it here because WWE is very swift with their copyright. The Tron has an actual dragon on it. I feel like the person they described it to took it too literal. They put a dragon, and they were like, "Oh man, all right, we'll take it. Let's just go, bro. Come on."
It's a new Day, guys. Let's do this. Oh man, it was cool though. I'm glad that they got him some new stuff there.
The song was ass.
Well,
the theme song sucked.
Would you? I mean. I kind of dug when they were just moving out to nothing. When they just walked out talking.
They never commit. Nobody ever commits to that. Tommaso got it really cool once.
Except for Paul Heyman. He's the only guy that doesn't have entrance theme. If he's by himself, he just walks out.
That's cool. Because I actually, but for him, I miss the extreme music.
I was gonna say, with the exception of his fantastic. I think he did use that for his Hall of Fame induction. I think he did come out to that for that.
He did, right? Yeah.
But before the match took place, we backstage saw Rhea Ripley crossing paths with Io. I'm sorry, Mac. I don't want to upset you. And she's like, hey, maybe I'll see you at WrestleMania. And then they were parting ways, and Liv Morgan attacked Sky, and then Rhea runs over and chases her off, and then Raquel Rodriguez attacks. It was wild, guys. It was wild. Obviously here, the idea being that Liv was trying to do some damage to Sky before their match later tonight. But that leads us into the tag match. The New Day taking on Rey Mysterio and Dragon.
Look who found the arena. Dragon fucking Lee, back on television. He had a baby. Good for you. What the fuck is this on the bottom of the screen here? That doesn't make any sense at all. I'll fix that. 86 for Rey Mysterio. I guess because his knees. How the fuck does Logan Paul get a 90 though?
Ray's not wearing knee braces anymore. I feel like the knees shouldn't be a factor in that.
The stem cells. No, there's full babies. He's absorbing entire babies into his knees.
It's like that South Park with Chris Reeves.
Every time you absorb the essence of an infant into your knees, you get 5 more years.
Oh God, damn! He's gonna wrestle forever.
He's got a supply of babies.
Oh my God, where is Ray getting all of these
Well,
babies?
no, not babies, women, because you can't have a supply of babies because they grow. So
True.
you need them to be infants. So you have to have it on like a 9-month cycle.
Which is better for him than the steroid cycle he was doing prior. So
You sure? Is it? You injecting needles into your ass or you injecting infants into your knees? Which one is better for your soul?
let's get that poll up on Dirt Sheet Radio. See what people think. Jesus Christ. But we had New Day and LWO here. This went just a little over 11 minutes. I think it was 11 minutes and 19 seconds. Logan Paul came out halfway through the match. I'd say for reasons, but the reason is that he's wrestling Rey Mysterio. Is that next week or the week after?
I think it's next week.
The next week for an Elimination Chamber qualifier. But he sat there and just stared, mostly like that, for the majority of the match.
He's tired.
Yeah.
He can't. He's looking at these guys like, how could you wrestle again? I just did the Royal Rumble. You had to wrestle twice in a row. What the fuck? Like, fuck you.
Fucking Logan Paul. But he did get involved here. He tossed Ray back in the ring, and that's when Kofi landed the killing blow there, and then the 3, I believe.
Yeah, he yanked him out first. He pulled his ass by the leg, pulled him down, and then threw him back in there all dazed to get trouble in paradise in the face. All over his face.
Just, Jesus Christ. Jamaican me crazy. But yeah, so heel New Day getting the win here, which they really did need. You know, like they need to start racking up some wins.
They did.
So that was probably the right move here, and they protected Ray there with the finish. Shockingly, Dragon Lee didn't take the pin.
That was shocking.
I kind of figured that's why he was there.
Is he the speed champion? Who's the speed champion?
He is the speed champion. God, how do I even know that? But he is the speed champion right now.
The champion of Adderall.
God. He's really focused, John. He's really, really focused. All right?
I feel like I've unlocked the extra hour.
Oh my God. All right, here. Where are we? Was this the Roman Reigns? Am I ahead of myself?
No. The Roman Reigns announcement. Oh, I guess I don't have the screenshot here. That's why I didn't see it. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee announcing that Roman Reigns got death stomped to hell. That's funny.
Yeah, so he'll be out indefinitely. I'm sure
we'll see him. We'll see him when it's plot convenient.
Yeah, when that plot armor needs to be put back on for him, he'll be there. Or whenever Rock storms into a boardroom, he's like, "Get Roman on TV now." But yes, backstage, Kathy Kelly interviewing CM Punk regarding his chance to be in the chamber. He said, and she said, "That's a silver lining for you." And he said, "No, the actual silver lining is that at least neither Seth or Roman won." He didn't. I want to point this out. So he brought out both Seth and Roman not winning, but he didn't say anything about Drew McIntyre here.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about Drew anymore.
Has he moved on past Drew?
Yeah, I think that's what his thing is. Like, I've moved on. I don't care about Drew McIntyre anymore. I don't want to get my ass beat.
Which would be good. I mean, they had a Hell in the Cell match. Like, that's a blow off. That should kind of end the bulk of your conflict with someone.
Yeah. I know when I have Hell in a Cell matches against my enemies, afterwards we like to go out to eat.
Well,
if they're still alive.
If. It's a big if.
If.
Well, I mean, if you're Gunther, they may not be alive after. That's as we established earlier. Jeez. All right. Back from the break. Let's see here. Oh, we don't need to talk about them talking about talking about Cleveland. They did discuss the number of views the Braun Breaker Spear of I Show Speed from the Rumble has gotten. Was it like 300 million
Yeah,
in just about a 24-hour period?
something unbelievable.
Yeah, and when John, we talked about this a little bit Saturday, but when people bitch and moan about someone like I Show Speed being involved in a WWE angle, this is why. This is
Yeah.
why they do it, guys. Like,
At that point, anybody who's complaining about I Show Speed is just completely unaware and should be ignored.
oh, and by the way, all my kids know who he is. Every one of them
Yeah.
know who he is.
Yeah.
I brought it up yesterday. I was like, "But do you guys know who I Show Speed is?" And they were all like, "Yeah." Like I was dumb for even asking the question.
That's like them asking you if you've ever heard of like George Clooney.
Right?
This little actor called Brad Pitt.
Yeah. So he was in this really really old movie, Interview with the Vampire. I think it was based
Fuck!
off of a book.
What do you mean old? No.
It's where it's getting. I actually asked that the other day. I'm like, I wonder if because I was Total Recall was on. I'm like, oh, that came out in like '91, and I'm like, oh, it's not that long ago. And I'm like, shit, it is kind of. And I'm like, I wonder if like kids view movies that came out in the early '90s the same way that I was viewing movies that came out in like the mid '60s when I was a kid.
Jesus, though, like that's so crazy to think about. You know why I don't think so? Because the quality is so much better now. The quality of '90s movies were so much higher than 1960s movies, and I guess honestly, somebody's probably really mad that I said that somewhere. You know my favorite fucking Judy Garland film.
Oh my
uh,
god! Somewhere James Lipton is like really angry right now.
Don't you be dissing the original James Bond? No. And no, I mean, I'm talking shit, but 1954 Gogeta is one of my top 4 favorite films of all time. So, talking shit.
That is one of my more. I don't have a lot of them left around, but that's one of my favorite VHSs that I have.
That's beautiful. I love that.
But no ba. So that's if anybody got that Key and Peele reference right there. So, they did a quick preview that showed next week that Bailey and Lyra Valkyria will be facing off in a chamber qualifier. Bird Lady, I don't know how she's going to fare in that. Bird Lady good though, guys. They keep being mean to Bird Lady.
She is
Didn't
good.
wrestle on Raw tonight, but at least she appeared. She was there. So
Hi. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed on primary episodes of Raw. Only the secondary ones.
They're not. Do better.
Post Royal Rumble? No, but guess what? The week after, you'll be on.
Damn it! Oh god. But that led us into our next match, which was a elimination qualifier, elimination chamber qualifier between Io Sky and Liv Morgan. Of course, Liv out there with her good friend Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah. So the match was going pretty well, I thought. Solid work here. But at some point during the match, and it's one of those things where like my wife actually asked me, she's like, why are you so mad right now? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm so mad right now. I don't usually get this mad about stuff like this. But like Raquel Rodriguez gets involved, hops off the apron. At that point, the referee should have done his damn job and said, leave, Raquel. Go. You know what? You don't even have a manager's license. Why are you even here to begin with? Leave. Okay? Then she gets involved a second time, and he still does not eject her from ringside. So Rhea Ripley, understandably, comes down to make the save. And in the course of doing so, Liv Morgan grabs her hair, and she just reacts. Muscle memory takes over, and Rhea Bloody Ripley clocks Liv Morgan in clear view of the referee, leading to a disqualification at right after 12 minutes, 12 seconds. And Liv Morgan wins the disqualification and moves on to the Elimination Chamber match. And Rhea was upset with herself, but not as upset with her as Io Sky was. And she tried to beg her forgiveness, and Io just walked away. upset, dejected.
She said, "Fuck you. Why are you begging my forgiveness? You took my opportunity at WrestleMania. I should shove your title right up your ass. What is your problem?" This
Well,
match
she
was.
could have said that for all we know.
She probably did. I. This match was so funny to me because I thought it was fucking trash, and the crowd was like, "This is awesome," and I was like, "Huh."
I think they were excited for EO to win here.
No, I think I'm just I think I've been passed by. I was like, no. But you know what? There was nothing structurally wrong with it. I think it was you're right. It was pretty much what you would want out of Liv Morgan. The best you can get out of Liv Morgan, which unfortunately for me is just not enough, and it's probably never gonna be enough. And that's just me. That's just what I look for out of wrestling. I am not entertained by Liv Morgan's wrestling matches. I at least she didn't fuck anything up. Everything looked as good as it did, and I think the structure made all the WWE fans in the building and a lot of people at home really happy. But I just thought it was so interesting. I was like, "Fuck, I'm so bored," and everyone loves this match. Fuck,
I will say the finish upset me more than it should have.
I was like, this.
I did not like the finish. I was so angry for like probably a good, I don't know, 3 minutes or so.
That's good though. That's good because that's good work. They had you really angry about that shit. That's fucking someone's job was done well.
Yeah, and like I said, like I was just like, why are you so mad about this? I'm like, the referee didn't do his fucking job, honey. Like,
referee, do something.
Eddie Munster looking ass, like
nobody chants that anymore.
No, they should. We need to start getting people to do that again. We should start pushing really hard for that.
I think of Todd Sinclair at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Anytime he come, they used to chant
Twinkie. 1 Twinkies, 2
Twinkies. He apparently hated that.
Yeah,
he hated coming to New York.
I will say there are a few wrestling chants over the years that after I have felt like, oh, was I morally right for doing that? Mob mentality takes over, guys.
I thought it was funny for. Hey, if you don't want people chanting Twinkies at you fucking don't come outside at 300 pounds.
You are surrounded by some of the best athletes in the world. They can give you advice, brother. Like,
it doesn't help when you're literally being ran around in circles by like fucking model-esque men, and you're standing there, a shirt that don't fit.
He did it. That was the thing. Like he moved though, up, down, all around.
He moved. Ring. He was funny. He was always sweating. He was funny as hell. Well, he hated New York City. Twinkies.
3 Twinkies. I haven't thought about that in a while. Jesus. But
sorry, Todd.
Sorry, Mr. Sinclair. Apologize. He's probably like, man, I wish the Sinclair that owned the company was related to me. They'd make him stop.
No Twinkies.
No Twinkies. Oh, man. Oh, where were we? Okay, so back to the backstage area. We had Kathy Kelly interviewing the War Raiders, and they mentioned that last week JD McDonough has earned their respect. You know, they talked about that they know as much as anyone what it's like to push through injuries and come back from them. So I like that, given the man his flowers. Again, that match was fucking killer last week. And after finding out the severity of JD McDonough's injuries and that he continued that match, I now know I wouldn't want to fight JD McDonough. I'll say that now. And as I said earlier, I will try to curb the Farquaad jokes when you return. I apologize, JD. But yeah, I'll try. I can't guarantee it, but I will try, you know. But Chad Gable came over and interrupted and said that his boys were going to be taking those belts off of the War Raiders. And they said they should expect war, which makes sense because that's what they do. And they parted ways, and Chad Gable, Master Gable, facing away from his students, said that, you know, he is about to leave. He has to leave them now and embark on a solo journey to master the dark arts of Lucha Libre. And when he returns, he expects for Ivy Nile to be Intercontinental Champion and for the Creeds to be Tag Team Champions. Don't let me down. And he's off to learn, guys. He's off to learn. This is fine. This is fine. I feel like these American-made promo segments go a lot better when Chad Gable does the bulk of the speaking, or all of it.
Yeah. They're like they should be mimes right now. I don't want to hear from you,
Especially Ivy. Sorry, Ivy.
except for Brutus. Give Brutus the mic. I want to hear him talk about cheese nips and shit.
And asses. Giant Cheez-Its and booty.
No, it was pretty fine. I would be really excited to see War Machine versus Creed Bros. Hopefully they get that out of the way soon. It's probably gonna be an even Raw match, and Creed Bros get their ass beat, which sucks for them. But that's their job right now. This is where they belong.
Yeah, and like I said, they're getting them further away from straight out comedy, which is good. But like, Chad's so good at the lighthearted stuff, but I like Chad when he's more serious. But I know they're gonna be doing some goofy shit with this lucha training thing, so it'll be fun though. It'll be fun to watch.
Here's hoping for montages.
Oh, if we don't get like an 80s style, lucha montage, I'm actually going to be disappointed.
It's paradise.
It'd be great if he's just actually like it just shows clips of him sitting in a room watching tapes of Lucha Underground.
This is Penta guy.
He's like, he did what to Io Sky?
Is that Chelsea Green?
Holy shit! They killed people? Well, they killed me briefly, but I came back. So. Good times. After that, they had a quick little before the AJ announcement. This is minor. I didn't see the picture for it, but something I'm excited about. So I will talk about. They hyped the WWE Evolve, which is going to be starting March 5th. Which I will say, Tubi, which I luckily already downloaded Tubi, because I will absolutely be watching this because it is level up. The talent commercial, it's all level up talent. Like, I recognize pretty much every face that was on there from Level Up. So
I like the way they presented it. Like, okay, watch this show to see people who might end up in WWE. Like, okay, well, there's no lie there. At least when you watch NXT Level Up, it's like this. They're babies. They're testing NXT gimmicks and shit. This one is like, man, we're just seeing if it works. This is where they go when they're not here yet.
Yeah. And honestly, maybe that's a little bit better, kind of differentiate NXT entirely from that level of developmental. Obviously, NXT is still developmental, but they've been trying to treat it more like just a third brand. And then, that's very evident in a lot of the branding of their the PLEs for NXT now. Like Vengeance Day is WWE Vengeance Day. So it's kind of the direction of it. But I'm excited for that. So March 5th, NXT Evolve, WWE Evolve, I guess. They're not calling it NXT, but they are filming it at the Performance Center, looks like. So, that, and oh my God, that brings us back up just so Rollins made his entrance before the break. We went to the break and came back with Kathy Kelly interviewing Adam Pearce, and this is where Adam Pearce made what he said was a massive announcement in AJ Styles officially being moved to the Raw roster. Before we get into the second half of the segment here, John, what do you think about AJ getting moved to Raw in terms of like kind of matchups and whatnot he'll be able to have here?
It makes sense. I don't think there's any. I mean, I guess he'll be up there with not even Drew. Drew's already tied up with Priest. It kind of looked like maybe they were teasing a Braun Breaker match. At this point, I feel like AJ has done it all. I'm not even sure what I want to see out of him in the WWE anymore. Like, I know they're not giving him a championship run. He already did the failed title match against Cody. I guess he could do a couple more of those, but like, shit, I'm just like ghosting and hoping that he has anything good for now.
Do you think they're going to keep him face?
Yeah, I think he'll stay babyface.
Yeah, and as you kind of alluded there, in the segment, they had approach Adam Pearce, Braun Breaker, stating that he would like to know what's next for him. You know, he doesn't have anything going. Like, what do you got for me? Which I like that. I like that. That's kind of an attitude that Breaker's had in some of these interview segments prior to this. It's like, hey, like, you need to give me more. Like, I'm a superstar in the making. Like, give me these matches, these opportunities. I like that from him.
I don't like that he's got to beg for it. Like, what is this? What are you doing? This is your intercontinental champion, Adam Pearce. You fucking suck.
Well, he's clearly, I mean, he's, doing more for Braun than he's doing for Lyra.
What's he got against the white and blue?
I don't know. I don't get it, Pierce. Straighten up. But yeah, well, I mean, that was the thing. Like, Breaker did point out during the segment that he feels, and I think he's correct in feeling this way, that Adam Pearce doesn't respect the Intercontinental Championship nearly enough, and he asked for a private meeting. So
he's right.
Well, you get these private meetings where you get whatever match you want out of it.
What's going on in that room?
I don't want to know. I really don't. No. No. But that takes us back up to the first segment we covered going into the main event. John, man, before we hop into the Jobbers and Megastars here tonight, was there anything on Raw tonight that we haven't touched on that you want to talk about?
No, not really. It was a decent episode of Raw. I enjoyed it. I hope they can keep this momentum up. Next week, we'll be back.
Right on. I think, and I love this. They, I don't know if this is something we're going to start doing. They were like, we'll be back next week in Nashville. So I kind of dig that, kind of, I don't know why. It feels old school to me. Talking about where you're going to be next week. We'll be back in Nashville. But yeah, John, like you said, I agree. I thought this was a good follow-up. It wasn't super busy with advancement. But they definitely got that feel to the start of WrestleMania season. I'm wondering how non-existent the brand split will be here for the next couple months. That usually seems to be the case. But
Adam Pearce made it seem like that's not going to be a thing anymore. He said the transfer portal closed this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder how often they'll open that. And like if it will be once a year or if it's just going to be anytime they need it to happen for convenience.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I expect.
Just fucking Doctor Strange in it,
Yeah, it's transfer portal time. Okay.
Better. So. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's better than. Well, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say it's better than the draft, and then I had to think about which draft concept, the random one, or the one where they actually draft. I don't know. I preferred the random one between those two. I think because it felt, I don't know, less realistic, but more professional wrestling, I guess. I don't know how real drafts work, so I don't know how accurate.
Me either. But I was told that the transfer portal doesn't actually work this way. Like they're supposed to be, there's supposed to be like a window of free agency or something, and then the people decide where they want to go. But WWE's like, hey, you can show up on the other side this week.
Or NXT, if you like. Carter.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah. But, guys, that's going to take us into tonight's Jobber of the Night. John, who do you have as your Jobber this evening?
Oh, unfortunately, it's going to be Charlotte Flair. After such a great night on Sunday, she comes out and this crowd just was not cooperating. They did not want to have fun with the Queen. You're a bunch of haters.
Oh, very angry. John, you're upset. I don't think you're quite as upset as David M. was about how Charlotte.
He was going to destroy Ohio.
He's here though. He's here though.
Like, that's how much he hated. That's how much he hated it.
We're all going down in the Buckeye State because of this event tonight. Oh man, but no, understandable choice, man. Understandable. It didn't go well for her tonight, and she was not able to pivot back into a favorable area with the crowd. I had an inclination to pick her, but in the interest of saying someone else, it's the Eddie Munster referee because I'm still so angry about that finish. I'm kayfabing the fuck out of this. This guy should lose his job. He did not do his job tonight. He did not eject the wrestler, which when I was asked about this, the wife asked, hey, do they normally eject them? I'm like, not if it's a storyline reason and they need them there. But I was mad. I almost want to say it was Rhea because she's the one that caused the damn DQ in the first place. But no, the referee should have done his job and ejected Raquel Rodriguez the first time. She should have been there to begin with. She's a wrestler. She doesn't have a manager's license. Fuck.
Sorry, Eddie Munster.
Sorry, Eddie. I mean, I don't want to fight him still. He's still like in with me. But yeah. That's the jobbers. That's our jobbers, which is going to take us into happier territory, a better land, a land of megastars. Tonight's megastars of the night for the 3rd of February. I love the horns, guys. I really do. God, I John, you're probably going to say the same thing I am. Maybe not, but it's Kevin Owens for me tonight, guys. Just that absolute return to form in my eyes that he's been journeying towards since entering into the feud with Cody. He's back to that more just ruthless, and he still can play for some laughs. The shirts all through the Cody feud, just fantastic, but hell of a punctuated ending tonight. Nailing his longtime friend. They are destined to do this forever with a sick package pile driver, as John said, the first time live on WWE programming. Love it, absolutely love it. Thought he looked great here. Really looking forward to that program. Sean, who's your megastar tonight?
This might surprise you. This might surprise a couple of people. My megastar of the night tonight is CM Punk. This old man goes out there with he just goes out there with his broken down, beat up body and his tired attitude and his ornery self, and he goes and delivers this great match against all odds, against all physical odds. Just look at how tired he is. Look, how could he give us the match that he gave us when he's so old, broken down, and angry? God, that's my megastar of the night, CM Punk. Good job, Grandpa.
Would you say that in tonight's match he went all out?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Oh man, good times. But yeah, y'all, that's Monday Night Raw. That's Monday Night Raw tonight. I had a good time. Thought it was a good show. And if all of you guys had a good time tonight, we've got wonderful news for you guys. We're not just here. For Raw, we are here Tuesday nights covering NXT. Wednesday nights, hey, you know what that means? It's AEW Dynamite. Thursdays, TNA Impact, and Fridays, of course, are SmackDown. On Wednesdays, you guys can check out the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship program every week. It's late. Pick it out in the mornings if you're like me, need to be up early. That's when I hear it. But hey, on the weekends, we got myself and CJ bringing the Weekly Wrestling Roundup. We're actually going to be doing a weekday edition of it this week. We didn't get to do it Sunday. I think we're planning to do that on Wednesday. That's an extra W for us this week. And then, John, what else happens on Sundays?
3 and 2 Wrestling live on Dirt Sheet Radio. Myself, Danny Ocean, Izzy, and Malik live. I don't think we'll be on this Sunday, but we could be. I hope so.
Tune in and find out. You'll find out on Sunday. But,
you also have Major Issues, Otaku Cafe. What's the other one? Damn, there's another one.
Cold Case.
Cold Case. No, God damn it. It'll come to me when it's too late. Thank you, everyone.
You guys have a wonderful night. Follow Dirt Sheet Radio on all social media platforms. Follow John Escudero on Facebook. And follow myself, Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Astro on Facebook after you've followed all of them. Only
yes.
But
God damn it. Thank you all.
the bell, the like, the subscribe. Have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow night live.
Subscribe! 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 I need you to subscribe! Please! Please!
For Molly, do it for John.
Do it because they'll kill me if you don't!
God. Chips in the night.